will. I'm Michelle Lujan, Grisham, and I'm the luckiest human alive because I get to come back home to a state that I love. I get to spend time here working with you to rebuild the state, and there are so many opportunities. And I'm really seeing a resurgence of New Mexicans who are so new New Mexicans who are all ready, right, to do incredible work. And I want to tell one just quick story about how 2018, I'm feeling so good about not just what can happen here, but what can happen across the country. Right? And New Mexico can and will absolutely be one of those places where we're seeing that the ground game is so strong and so vital and so energetic that we're beginning to make changes in every small community, which really then solidifies great progressive policies for the state. And I don't know how many of you know this, but I spent 18 years in state government, and actually I just got to hug an old friend of mine, Art, who used to drive us. So I commuted, I made a deal with my family that I would be home even if my kids were in bed. I would get to peek in there every single evening, and I'd get to say goodbye to them in the morning on my way to work. And it was a wonderful thing, and you got to do a lot of work in that hour, well before the rail runner and before there were any sort of environmental supports for carpooling. We just all got in the van and did that together. And I couldn't wait to go to work, because there was something wonderful that we could do every single day. The whole body of state government. It was good governance, good government, good policymakers. We were always looking for a way to make a difference in the lives of New Mexicans. And I got to run the senior programs, and it was incredible. Right? We had 400,000 both providers, families, and older persons, retirees, all working together. From everything from, New Mexico was one of the first states in the country to join together child care and adult daycare programs. So the grandparents raising grandchildren could be in the same environment for the same set of services, and we could also address all the needs of those kids. It was fantastic. Right, now fast forward to today, all that energetic work, just this week, the aging department and the governor have announced the very same effort that they did with behavioral health. And it's illegal, just like it was with behavioral health. With a stroke of a pen, this administration is canceling every single local contract for transportation, long-term care, home-delivered meals, health insurance advice and counseling, benefits counseling, recreation, senior Olympics, you name a service. Now, on the surface, well, you're bringing a meal, it's hard for them to get out, that can get replaced easily. It actually can't. You don't know where those transportation logs are, you have no idea what the health issues are, you got to transfer all those records. Does everybody remember that when we canceled behavioral health, that the number one issue, in addition to how horrible and annoying that was, is that there were no records, that none of the new providers even had any idea who their patients or clients were? And can you imagine that you're an individual who's schizophrenic, who needs absolutely that continuity of care, and there's no way to connect it? Well, mark my words, we have older people who are incredibly frail, who need to see their docs, who have meds that are part of that entire delivery system, who are getting therapeutic diets, and with a stroke of a pen. And we're going to fight her, and I think this one will win early, not late. But it is time for somebody who cares about delivering the services we're required to do, who understands how to deliver them, who's got a vision and wisdom, and who will work with you as your partner to make sure that we're creating the kinds of avenues that really make a difference for New Mexicans. So your presence today helps me do that, and this is why. All right, we're going to go early for canvassing. We want people to be as excited as I am, and I hope as excited as you are. Right? We're ready. That means that we need them to sign our petitions. We want to have 3 times the number that we need, because each signature is somebody who's then paying attention, who's ready to participate and vote. 2, I don't know if they're actually going to ask you to talk a little bit about our pre-primary process. It's complicated, but if people want to volunteer early, we have things for them to do, both canvassing, calling, and going through New Mexico's caucus system, which gets you on the ballot. And last, it creates that sort of energy back in the Democratic Party, because look, we can make every decision about every election in the state forever, and we don't do it. And we don't do it because we forget, and I'm one of those candidates. It's easy to just wait till the very end, right? We'll just get folks right before they need to vote. It's too late. All right, people need they've made decisions, they feel left out, they don't feel like the Democratic Party is working with them or for them. We're going to change all of that. And then actually one last thing. Thank you for helping me, because we actually need more help on our campaign, because I'm in DC. So I'm in DC 3 weeks a month, and I can't be on the ground in the same way that you can. And without you, without this army of Democrats who care about New Mexico in the same way that I do, who love it, are ready to see all those changes, who are interested in making sure that we've got a dynamic growth spurt for young people in the state, so that we're the coolest place. And you know, around the world, they're beginning to say Albuquerque is one of the coolest places to live. New Mexico is one of the places that's got the best food in the country. Maybe where we can compete, and I think we can internationally. They're also starting to say, Hickenlooper was just quoted in a video saying, how is the land of enchantment not the leading state in clean energy and environmental sciences? And this, I promise, one last one. These are the things that actually create positive economic growth and development. So how many people ski? Bunch of us. How many of you have been to Taos in the last 5 years? All right, I haven't been to Taos because they don't let me out of Albuquerque at the ski valley in 10 years. And I was invited by the new development group. All right, so we've got some folks who are investing $300 to $600 million in the Taos ski valley.
Are they bringing snow?
Oh, well, they have to make snow, so that's a problem. It's the first time in my life I looked at Al's run, and it's just dirt. That was a little disconcerting. But here's the best part. How many of you know what a B corporation is? Couple? Right, a B corporation is a new corporate design that allows you to have certain tax protections as long as your philanthropic community design meets those standards. So it's kind of a for-profit, non-profit combination. It's very interesting. There are very few of these corporations that are very tough to meet the standards around the country. This development is a B corporation. And the benefit of a B corporation, in addition to millions of dollars for schools and roads and community services and healthcare and environmental investments, all of it, is the following. It is the #1 recruitment tool for young people. So millennials and younger are looking for places where the corporations that they are going to be working for are giving back to the states and the communities where they are domiciled. And it's the #1 issue now that Googlers are identifying about leaving Google, is they want Google to be more like a B corporation. So if we are succeeding in the ruralist communities of our state, and we're having these new forward visions, imagine what we can do all over the state. And as they're developing Taos, people in Cuesta are getting jobs, and people in Red River, and Angel Fire, and Mora, and all of the places where we've been really stalled and struggling. It's the most exciting thing I've seen in a long time. And it was just flush with people of all ages, lots of New Mexicans, and lots of new people who are moving and bringing their families. And if they stay 5 years, they stay. They're hooked. They're hooked. All right, so I see these incredible opportunities. And if you will go to the doors, and you will bring that same optimism, we're going to win this race. We're going to turn New Mexico around. And we're going to have so much fun returning and moving forward to a place that we all remember, where our kids could stay here. It was safe to be here. Our schools were growing and building, and it really is an enchantment. So let's go get them. Thank you very much, you guys.